Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're going to kick off our National Awards virtual cocktail reception. And a lady I'm awful fond of has agreed to give us a wonderful keynote address. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Lieutenant General Patricia McQuistion. Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to start by telling you that after 5 years with the Association of the United States Army, I will be retiring from the position as Vice President for Membership and Meetings in January of 2021. That's still a long time away. But as that announcement becomes public, it has caused me to reflect on my time here. And I wanted to say how very much I have enjoyed my personal connection with the U.S. Army Warrant Officer Association throughout my Army career, and even more during my time here at AUSA, as we have really both solidified our mutual admiration of each other's associations and strengthened our support of each other's missions. As a life member of the Warrant Officer Association, I also want to say how pleased we are to host this meeting, your annual meeting, in our Gordon R. Sullivan Conference and Events Center. My deepest thanks and admiration to Joe Consiglio and Jack Dutiel for their dedication and tremendous teamwork. And to AUSA's own Colonel Stan Crow, standing right off camera here, U.S. Army retired, for his relentless support and strong relationship building across our teams. Stan truly represents the very best of AUSA. Everybody give Stan a round of applause. I'd also like to express my appreciation to several others, not just for this conference, but for everything they are doing on behalf of the Warrant Officer cohort and the Army. And those are the Chief Warrant Officers, Teresa Domeyer, Hal Griffin, Yolandria Dixon-Carter, Steve Kilgore, Jonathan Yerby, Rick Knowlton, Will Robinson. Warrant officers may constitute only about 2.5% of the force, but that certainly is a wealth of talent to manage. I'd also like to call out CW5 Phyllis Wilson. In addition to being on the AUSA Council of Trustees, Board of Directors, Phyllis was recently celebrated her 1-year anniversary as President of Women in Military Service for America, WIMSA, or the Women's Memorial, as it is more informally known. Now celebrating 23 years. Oh, big round of applause for Phyllis, always. So it is celebrating 23 years now with a newly dedicated statue inside called The Pledge. It was a real honor to be present at the unveiling of that art. And the pledge commemorates the oath we give to our fellow servicemen and women that we will never leave a fallen comrade. It has an updated logo and many great plans for future events. But like your vehicle that's 23 years old, it is undergoing some overhaul work and deserves some extra TLC. So we all need to support the memorial and Phyllis. Another round of applause. So many of you have heard me say at previous Warrant Officer annual meetings that I was raised by warrant officers. I may have also likened it to being raised by wolves. But when I look back in my career, I know that much of my success is because of the warrant officers I was privileged to work with. As a new lieutenant in 1981 in Golf Company's 725th Maintenance Battalion, 25th Infantry Division, warrant officers were my instructors and my role models. I was the only lieutenant in the company, but we had 6 warrant officers in that missile maintenance company. We did Toad, Dragon, Red Eyes, Chaparral and Vulcan maintenance, and tech supply for the division. So 6 warrant officers and me. I was almost outnumbered. I relied on warrants like Chuck Duckett, Glenn Miyamoto, Jim D., and some very outstanding sergeants, including Jerry Wentworth and a staff sergeant in the missile shop, to learn my craft. They were generous with their time, their expertise, and their mentoring. And because they knew I cared and was willing to work hard, they didn't give me too much grief. As a Pershing support company commander in Germany in the mid-'80s, providing all the logistic support for a tactical nuclear weapon, Pershing Field Artillery Battalion, I again benefited tremendously from the professional technical support warrant officers like John White bring to the team. So from my earliest days through my 35-year Army career and beyond, I have maintained my deepest respect for all of you. I will note, though, that I've always bitten my tongue and my lip a little bit about your motto, the quiet professionals. I absolutely concur with the professionals part. I just also clearly recall some very robust debates and very vocal opinions from the warrants I worked with. I consider that a very good thing, actually. I always knew that my warrants trusted me enough to say what they thought and not what they thought I wanted to hear. That's why when I took the position with the Association of the United States Army upon my retirement, some of my earliest outreach efforts were with the U.S. Army Warrant Officer Association. And I was thrilled when we signed our first association teaming agreement together in 2017. Almost 4 years later, that initial agreement with USA WOA has grown to include agreements with 15 other like-minded associations and has helped us to grow AUSA's membership from 62,000 in 2016 to 245,714 memberships as of last night. The teamwork continues. Having just completed our own AUSA annual meeting in virtual format for the first time, I know a little bit about how much work goes on behind the scenes to produce these kind of events. I thank your leadership of the Warrant Officer Association for their willingness, their dedication, and sheer hard work to not only participate so strongly in AUSA's annual meeting, but to simultaneously be planning for the execution of this forum as well. My hat's off to you, Joe, Jack, and the entire team. You're both amazing and inspirational. Give yourselves a round of applause. Let me just do a real quick recap from AUSA now. We had keynotes from the Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of the Army, the Chief of Staff of the Army, the Sergeant Major of the Army, and many more key leaders. We had 138 sessions over 4 days, 48 events on the main stage, plus 92 webinars from the exhibit hall, more than 500 exhibitors, more than 450 speakers. We had more than 20,000 people registered. They are still registering for the on-demand programming. So the website's still open. You can still go on and get all of that content on demand. And I will say that more than 60 people have registered since Friday when we ended the show. We had participants from 70 countries. We had 260 registered media personnel representing 110 media outlets and 16.9 million people exposed to hashtag AUSA Now on Twitter. And one exceptional professional development panel focused on warrant officers, introduced by the Chief of Staff of the Army and professionally executed by warrant officer leadership across the Army. So that's what our couple of last weeks have been like. And continuing with our theme from AUSA's annual meeting, let me announce that the time is now for the cocktail reception and awards ceremony. And I want you to know, I put some cocktail bling on just for you. So it's 5 o'clock somewhere in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and it is time to charge your glasses. Mine has a very nice red Barolo in it. A toast to warrant officers, past, present, and future, boldly going forward into your second century of service to our nation. Technical experts, leaders of character, quiet professionals, agents of change. Hear, hear. Hear, hear. Back over to you.